here. Oh my God. This is it. The KEL Show. I'm 100% sure nobody's going to be here today. And that's cool because we're just testing out all the stuff, making sure everything works, kicking the dust off, taking her for a good old test drive. Oh man. This has actually been quite a while in the making. Should have been doing it a long time ago. Whatever, doing it now. We're going to do, I've had this idea for a while to do like a variety show, kind of a, we're going to have some talking, some chatting, ranting, a little bit of vino drinking, maybe some other stuff. Going to bring some friends down. Hopefully they'll be interesting as well. Definitely going to make some music. Going to talk about a lot of music and talk about a lot of other stuff. I am a musician, an American expat living in Prague, Czech Republic. I have been playing music professionally basically my whole life, except for a few rough spots here and there back in the day. I'm also a dad. And, we got some stuff to talk about. Today, we're just going to fuck around and find out. Got my trusty guitar in case I play a song. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of that later. I'll be checking the chats here. This is actually my first ever time going live on the good old Twitch. So that's going to be new. I have 0 followers on Twitch as of right now. So, yeah. Wonder if that's going to change. I'm going to write something in the chat and see if anybody answers. Mostly it's going to be a lot of me sitting here today, thinking about shit to talk about. Till, or if anybody shows up, we will see. We will see. Not convinced that's going to happen so much today. So, it's all good. I had some stuff to talk about. We might make a video about later. But here's something I'll do for you. I discovered one of these AI music creators, and I didn't mean to clean that. All right. I lost my YouTube page for a minute. But yeah, so I discovered one of these AI music creators, and it's absolutely insane. I sat there and made about 50 very, very, very mediocre pieces of music just to see what it was doing. I'll play some. So like, here, I don't even know what this is. Oh, I tried to say... I typed in something and AI busted this out as is, as you're hearing, in about, I don't know, 45 seconds. Lyrics, everything.
You can find my feet on solid ground, drifting deeper into breathe underwater, learning to breathe underwater. Your voice pulls me further down, past where sunlight used to reach. My hands float toward the surface, but I don't want to leave. Learning to breathe underwater.
The amount of energy and time it would take to make that by yourself is crazy. And to think that, I mean, even something this crappy, I couldn't make it in less than 2 days at least. And from nothing, from just me typing some random shit in. Craziness.
Pressure builds inside my chest, but I'm not scared, no, not anymore. Learning to breathe on the water.
Alright, play another one. That was trying to do some 90s rock. Here's some synthwave. And again, I don't think it's that good, but I mean, considering it was like 45 seconds. 45 seconds.
Another night in my room. Screen light keeps me awake.
It's just wild.
Fingers dance on plastic keys while the world fades away. The walls are paper thin. I'll let you sink in. Midnight synthesizer, my old phantom time.
And I was trying to see if I could make some. So, like, seriously, you could make.
Been watching you from across the dance floor. Something about you feels so pure, like a vinyl record spinning slow.
I've heard
The way
lots
you
of worse music than
move,
this.
the way you go. Digital world moving too fast, looking for something that's gonna last. Got me feeling like I'm losing track, till I saw
Like how?
you
Like-
looking back. Your love was analog, baby, so real.
I mean, again, it's stupid, but come on now. So, make a country song about doing a podcast in a basement studio in Prague. All right. Let's see how long this takes. Let's see what it comes up with. Get the ASMR thing. out all the stops. Did I freeze? Okay. It's been now coming up on 1 minute. And we got one.
These stone walls tell different tales than the ones I left behind. Through ancient streets and weathered doors, I'm trying something new this time. And baby, though I miss your smile down here beneath the ground, I'm speaking words into the night to find what can't be found. The signal's weak, but I keep on trying.
I mean,
my accent
this
sounds
actually sounds like the
so
best thing I've heard
strange.
so
Between
far
these
from this
cold
thing,
brick
but, like,
walls I'm
I kind of hate country
hiding.
music anyway,
So
so
far
I
from
think it's all corny.
Georgia
I'm sorry.
rain. They're standing in the underground, but my heart beats southern proud. I'm chasing dreams across the sea. Hoping
All right,
you're
second verse
still
coming up.
listening now. Still listening now.
Bro. For real. Alright, here's the next verse.
Red dirt roads turn cobblestone, jet words I cannot say. But in this basement,
This is so wild,
all
man.
alone, I think of you each day. My microphone picks up the sound of trains on tracks above.
It's like, I mean, dude, 3,000 miles from Nashville is what this one's called. So it makes two anytime you type it in. Dude, seriously.
You got my mic set up in this basement room, broadcasting blues to an empty tune. Shit folks walking by, don't know what to say when I'm picking strings 3,000 miles away. I'm way out here with my southern drawl, making country shows from behind these old stone walls. Ain't it
I mean,
funny
goddamn.
how life can...
So if you guys are wondering why I'm sitting here talking to you in a basement instead of actually playing music, this is why, because AI came for and got our jobs. It's just a matter of time, man. There's no way that this stuff isn't going to take over. Like, seriously. No way. Oh my God. Speaking of country music. Like, what the fuck, man? Beyonce is doing country music. Post Malone did a country music, and they're nominated for Grammys. The Grammys just are so more obviously fake these days than they ever have been. It's crazy. Like, you know, give me a break. Beyonce obviously should have an album of the year by now, but it should have been for Lemonade, not that stupid country album she just made. That was stupid. And she wins it for that. You know, come on now. just so we can keep testing stuff, I'm gonna play you a song. All right. With this old guitar. Put on some reverb. Yep. That'll sound nicer. Maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should. Maybe I didn't love you quite as often as I could have. Little things I should have said and done, just never took the time. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Maybe I didn't hold you. These lonely, lonely nights. I guess I could have told you. Happy that you're mine. If it made you feel second best, forgive me, I was blind. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Tell me that our sweet love hasn't died. Give me one more chance to keep you satisfied, satisfied. Maybe I didn't hold you. It's lonely, lonely night. I guess I could have told you. I was happy that you're mine. If it made you feel second best, forgive me, I was blind. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Tell me that our sweet love hasn't died. Give me one more chance to keep you satisfied, satisfied. Maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should have. Maybe I didn't love you quite as often as I could have. Little things I should have said and done, just never took the time. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. So yeah, that was always on my mind. I believe originally written by my man Willie Nelson, made famous by Elvis, and Erasure did a version of it. I need to try to sort out something. I got these in-ear monitors in, and I'm getting like crazy interference, which doesn't make any sense because I'm down here by myself in a basement. So let me check this out. That probably didn't help at all, but we'll see. Read all your comments. Oh wait, there aren't any. No comments. Yeah, I didn't tell anybody about this at all. So if anybody happens to ever see this in the future, just know that this was an experiment. I was really trying to, just figure that out. It's going to be a lot. And if you do happen to see it, just know it must be fate because there's not many of you. So if fate brought you to me today, my very first ever stream, I think it's destiny. We need to keep in touch. This is the first of many. I've had a few false starts with doing this online stuff. It's weird. I'm sitting here by myself talking to, I guess, nobody. I don't know. And, takes some getting used to, I think, and I heard a quote today while I was at the gym, listening to a podcast as I do sometimes. Coming up with a plan is easy. Executing on the plan is easy. The hard part is sticking with the plan. And it's very true. Very, very true. Sending some love out on Twitch. We should have a comment. Why not? Why not have one comment out there? Throwing it out into the void. So you want to hear something about me? Thanks for asking. I've been playing music forever. Since I was about 15. I think I did my first gig at a skating rink in Lynchburg, Virginia. It was something we were just a bunch of kids played a song I wrote, even some covers, some rock of the time. It was crazy. I was hooked. I've always been one of the kind of people that just, if I start doing something, I get into it, I just kind of keep on doing it. I just, it's like, okay, I guess I'm just a musician now. That's it. It was no big choice. I always thought I was going to be a baseball player. I was good at baseball when I was little. I moved in with my dad, and then, I don't know, the universe kicked in and just decided I wasn't going to play baseball anymore. I just all of a sudden sucked at it. I don't know. It was weird. I used to honestly be good at it. And then all of a sudden I wasn't. So I don't know what happened or why that went down like it did, but it did. And so when I moved in with my dad, I didn't have any friends, and I've never been the most outgoing or kind of, I was always kind of shy. Everybody told me I was shy when I was a kid, which is stupid. Shy doesn't really exist. So I tried to tell my kid. He tried to say he was shy once, and I was like, nah, man. That's not real. Shy is not just something people say. It's not a real condition. It's not something that actually happens in real life, you know? So just don't be shy. Just the cure to shyness is like, yeah, just stop telling yourself that because it's dumb. Anyway, back then I was a teenager, so my dad had some musical instruments around the house. I just picked up the guitar, started learning on my own. My dad showed me a couple of chords. I just went from there, and then that was basically it. It's like, okay, I guess I'm gonna be a rock star now because I played a few songs on the guitar. Then I got a band together when I was about, I'd been playing the guitar for about maybe not even a whole year, and we got a band together. You can imagine how good we sounded. Not good, but we looked cool. Did that gig at the skating rink, and then a fateful encounter of this dude, older guy than me, wanted to be the singer. So he joined the band, and then we started doing pretty good over the next couple of years. We ended up winning a battle of the bands in the big city next to us, Roanoke, Virginia. And then, but we were terrible. Like, all the local musicians hated us, but we looked cool by then, All had the hair, the look, had some stage moves, we had some stage presence. And it was an all ages club that we used to play all the time, so we had a lot of young girls there. And, if you fill a club full of young girls, there's going to be a lot of dudes as well. That's pretty much goes without saying. So, anyway, we took off from there, ended up coming to Europe because the band broke up, and then that singer moved to Germany, where his friend was in the military and had become a used car salesman in Germany, and got some rich Czech guy to listen to our demo tape. And this rich Czech guy was right after the revolution, so he decided to bring all of us over to Czechoslovakia and play music. And he put us in this little village called Korichany. And that experience is a whole story itself. That will definitely be a story I tell on this over the next upcoming shows, but it was a wild experience. Anyway, that ended poorly. Went back to America. My band became known as the local drug band in Lynchburg, Virginia, because apparently everybody in the band but me was doing drugs. I didn't even kind of know. And then it exploded, as you can imagine they do. Anyway, fast forward a few years, ended up moving back to Prague. Started singing before I moved back to Prague. After. The rest is history, although it's all history. It's a long-ass story, because I guess I'm pretty old by now, so the timeline of your life kind of keeps stretching, and you want to tell a quick story of how you got here, but if you include any details at my age, it just really starts getting to be a long-ass story. But we got time, I guess. That's how it's going to go here. It's one of the things we're going to talk about. The things I get asked about all the time. As a musician, I sing, I play guitar, I play a lot of gigs. I do solo gigs, I have a band. Travel around. Had a band that was doing okay. That exploded as well, as they do. And then started making music for sync, which is music for TV. Synchronized to video, that's why it's called sync. And that's kind of where I'm putting all my eggs for the future. Although, as we just heard, AI is making that stuff in 10 seconds that it takes everybody else at least a couple of days to do. So I don't know how that's going to play out. There's a lot of legal issues now, obviously, because the AI isn't inventing shit. It's just regurgitating shit that it learned on. Like all the stuff that you heard and all the stuff I made when I was sitting there making 50 very below average songs, but in decent production quality. That you can you start to get a vibe that it was trained on kind of on the vast majority of available music. You can't train AI on, Rihanna and Ed Sheeran and Keith Urban and, Taylor Swift and all that stuff, because it would be too obvious. If you had an AI song that came out and sounded like Taylor Swift or Rihanna, they're going to sue. So you train it on all these things of nobodies, and sad to say, I guess probably me included, but if you're a nobody, then probably it's because you're not that interesting. So therefore, the AI music is also not that interesting. Yet. That's the problem. Eventually it'll get there. Eventually it'll be, as good as anything else. And then what? It's not like if they're going to sort out the legalities of it. It's when. How long is it going to take? What's it going to be? I'm in this, kind of a mastermind kind of group chat thing that we had a couple of conversations on Zoom with people that work in the industry. And I asked a question to people that are a lot more knowledgeable than I am about it, about I'm a singer, and sometimes people are looking for a female voice. And instead of hiring somebody, it's like, could I just sing it and then use one of these AI voice changers to change my voice into a female voice that doesn't sound just weird? And I asked how that would work, if it's okay, if people would accept it, if it's legal, all that stuff. And basically, for now, they said definitely no, it's not a good idea at all. And the reason was, and one of the guys was clearly very smart, talked about in the 80s, there was some car company or something that wanted Bette Midler to sing on their ad. And she said no. And, okay, fair enough. So basically, the car company then hired one of Bette Midler's backup singers. And unbeknownst to this backup singer, they told her, yeah, just try to sound like your boss. The backup singer's just trying to work. It wasn't her fault. She's like, all right, cool. So she did. Apparently did a great job. The commercial came out, and people actually thought it was Bette Midler, apparently. And so Bette Midler's and her people sued and basically won the case based on voice likeness rights. And that's basically been the precedent that's being used right now about the AI. Because all these AI voices, they're not just made up new voices. They're somebody's voice that you can model. Now you can buy software that there's a library of voices you can use, 80 to 100 voices. I don't know how many. I'm sure it's increasing every day. But you can also model your own voice. So you can basically play MIDI. If you're a musician, you just play MIDI and put the notes in, then you type the lyrics in. And after you train it, you can have this AI sing with your voice, which is wild. So obviously at some point we're gonna have new Elvis songs, and this is actually how the Beatles did it with John Lennon on that song that they just won a Grammy for, by the way. And so there's going to be a never-ending amount of new material from artists that have probably been dead forever. We're gonna have new Frank Sinatra songs and Elvis songs, and it's going to be their voice, singing something they never sang before, ever. I don't know. Then what? I'm definitely a proponent of what is everybody going to be doing in 20 years? Definitely none of the stuff we do now. Having a kid, just thinking like he's 10, so when he's 20, I mean, the speed at which things are changing is not going to decrease. So, I mean, what is someone going to do in 10 years for work that's never worked before? And okay, maybe if it's 20 years, but it won't be 20 years, but in 10 years, what is anybody honestly going to do? And even people like me, I play live music in a bar. When the technology just gets cheap enough, because it already exists, when the technology gets cheap enough that a hologram can, basically a hologram jukebox can be performing in a tiny little bar, when it's cost effective for the bar owner or whoever does it to get the technology, you're going to need a smaller space. It's going to sound great. And instead of having some moron sing Wonderwall, you could actually get Oasis to sing Wonderwall in the pub. Or you could have Elvis sing Wonderwall, or Frank Sinatra sing Wonderwall, or Mariah Carey, or Madonna, or whoever you want, because that's just going to be how it is. And it's not even about if. It's like, how long is it going to take? Like, what licenses need to be processed? What laws need to be made to make that happen? So, here we are sitting in the basement, talking to a camera by myself, drinking some vino. It's cool though. Always wanted to have a TV show. Anyway, so what we're going to do in the future with this show is got the couch, might upgrade the couch. Kind of crappy, but you know, it's a studio. Sub Studios, if you see the sign back here. It's my studio in Prague, deep underground. I'm not going to tell you exactly where it is, but if you know, you know. And I'm going to get some friends down here. Almost all of my friends are professional musicians. And literally none of them are famous. So I think that's just almost more interesting for people to hear, like how do you do it? Like, what do you do? How do you actually navigate the world as an unfamous entertainer, musician, whatever? So I'm going to get some friends down here. We're going to talk. I will perhaps sit here. I don't know. We'll see. So, friend, tell us about your life. You know, drink some vino, share some knowledge, some stories, some fun times. Maybe do a little jamming, play some music. I'm going to be also using this opportunity to put together this set that I've had in my mind since, honestly, for at least, I don't know, 15 years I've had this concept of something to do. Because I've been playing music in bars for people. I've been playing music in front of people for like, honestly, longer than I'm quite ready to admit on a camera in public right now. So I've noticed some trends and patterns, and it's like basically people like to do two things. People like to sing along, and or they like to dance. And when you can make people sing along and dance, you win. That's it. That's all you have to do. Because that's people having a good time. So I've had this concept to do like kind of this acoustic, not even acoustic, forget I said acoustic. I'm going to edit that out on the replay. To do music as a live musician, but also kind of remix myself, because I'm a producer as well. So remix myself live. I already use like live looping and stuff like that. So I'll be doing that, but in a much kind of cooler, more advanced way. I love lo-fi sounds and hip-hop beats and stuff. I'm going to do that live, and I'm going to use this opportunity to hash that out so you can watch me build it, watch me fuck it up a lot probably. It's going to be weird. It's going to be fun. It's going to be cool. Eventually it'll be interesting. I don't know how interesting today is, to be honest with you. But eventually it's going to be cool. I'm actually quite excited. I'll be back Friday. What's today? Wednesday, yeah. I'll be back in a couple of days. I'll probably do a bit more music. Maybe we'll change the scene, do some talking from this area, set up some live music in the studio. And actually maybe I'll be playing with some of my friends, with my band members, do like a total party night. We can do some jamming with my friend Guy, who we work on a lot of the sync music with together. We do that together a lot. He's definitely coming, hopefully soon. Not today, but soon. And talk about different shit. And it's not just going to be about music either, because I'm interested in different things. And I like talking about different things, so you can hear some different things. Yeah, that was profound, I think. Anyway, also, when I introduced myself earlier, I said I'm an expat, American expat living in Prague. I've been living in Prague for over 20 years at this point, which is wild to even think that I've done anything for that long. So I think I also have some insights on that. I have this Facebook group actually called Americans in Prague. And I've tried to maintain it, to keep it a pretty clean space, useful, keep all the spam out, keep all the bots out. But it's like sometimes these people are just wild with their crazy ideas, and it's helped me keep a pulse on how divided America has become and how weird shit has just gotten in the world, I guess, is an elegant way to put it. Trying to see stuff. In case anybody drops by, wants to spread some cheer. I don't know. I don't know what this is like on Twitch. This is all just basically a sound check, a video sound check. Time to pour some more vino. I'm gonna watch this all back and improve every time. Get 5% better every show. Eventually we'll be the Mr. Beast of old guy sitting in basements talking about music and life and politics. If anybody is out there, say hi, because I think I get more unhinged the longer I sit here and think that I'm just talking to myself. Yeah. It's not going to be all acoustic guitar stuff, too. I'll probably do some because it's nice, I know. People like it. Actually, it's funny. I play this one bar quite often here in Prague, and I usually 99.9% of the time I play solo with my loop pedal, and I make some, I make a lot of noise for one dude with an acoustic guitar. However, it's still one dude with an acoustic guitar, so even though I'm making some beats and banging on my guitar and looping some stuff and using some effects, it's still one guy. And I played there with my band kind of as a a little practice, and also it's fun, break the monotony. It was a Friday night. It's all cool. The band is a drastically bigger sound. It's a very big sounding band. And then the next time I came in, one of the waiters was telling me, "Oh man, I gotta say, I really prefer when you play solo, because you can hear more emotion in your voice." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I get it. Some people really like that part, and I like that part too. I just think that I've done it so much that I want to explore other sides of my artistic personality, if you want to call it that. I like to make big noise. As I said, I'm a producer, so I would like to use those skills as well. And that's kind of what I really want to do with just even playing solo is make it more of a interesting, different kind of beat heavy, groovy, more interesting kind of fully thought out production than just a guy sitting there playing songs on a guitar. Again, I appreciate that as well, but you can only do so much of one thing. I think that's been the thing in my life that's been the one consistent thing, is that I really don't like consistency. I don't like doing the same shit all the time. And I think that's been a blessing and a curse. It's helped me in a way that I have a fair bit of, learned skills from doing a bunch of different shit, but at the same time, the only real way to make any progress is doing the same shit every day for a long period of time. That's how you learn anything, just doing it a ridiculous amount of times. So here we are. So what else did I want to tell you about? Yeah, I'll probably talk about some of my gear. I'm kind of a maximalist when it comes to a lot of the tech stuff. Where, for example, I use for my live rig, for my guitar, I use a Line 6 HX Stomp XL and a Boss VE500. I'm currently using the Boss RC600 as well, looper pedal, but I'm in the process of switching the looper out to just using the iPad. And I'm going to go over that whole rig with you too, because, if my suspicions are correct, there's probably going to be some musicians watching this. And I think that I actually use all the shit. I'm one of the few people I've ever seen that has all the plugs on the pedal are actually in use. Normally people just run one channel. First of all, I run everything in stereo. I link up everything with MIDI just literally for the delay syncs, because my vocal pedal has delays that I use. Obviously the guitar pedal I use delays, and then when I'm making a loop, the loop will sync both pedals to the tempo of the loop, so then all the delays are in tempo, so it really adds a lot. And then especially I'm in stereo, shit's bouncing around all around your head, if the sound is good in the front, which is always a wild card, but I wear these in ears, so for me it always sounds good, and that's kind of an important thing, because when you're playing live, all you have to go on is, does it sound good to me? And that's what you think it sounds like. So if it sounds like shit in your own head or whatever, or on the stage, you just think it sounds like shit and you play accordingly. And with my band, the biggest thing we've done recently is just started, no matter what the situation, we're running our own monitor system. So anytime there's a PA is provided, it's like we run our own monitors. First of all, sound guys love it, obviously, because 80% of a sound check is monitors, and then it's never right, and then they always change it for God knows why. Why would you change? Why would you change somebody's in-ear monitor mix? Why? It just doesn't make sense. Just don't like. But they do. I don't know if it's just a Czech thing where the Czech sound guys do it, but it's baffling. Anyway, yeah. So I'm going to talk about my live stuff, how we set that up. We'll go over some stuff, and especially as I'm using this, as I'm going to the iPad system, and for my solo gigs, at least to start, I'm actually just going to be connecting the iPad via USB cable to the Line 6 pedal, and using the Line 6 pedal's outputs, which it has 4 of, to hear everything. And it's cool. It's really cool. I'm so close to launching and actually going out live with just the pedal and the iPad. But that'll be something to talk about. I actually, yeah. I'll probably talk a little bit about this expat life and just life as a foreigner, why I chose it, what's good about it, what's bad about it. It's weird. I think it's different for everybody, of course, but like for me, I never felt like I really belonged anyway. You know, in school or in life. Probably because I grew up weird. We'll talk about that maybe, but so I think like for me maybe it was the appeal was that I always felt like an outsider even when I was just born there. So at least if I was here, I could be an outsider and there was at least a valid reason for it or something. So it made me feel like, well, yeah, of course I'm an outsider because I'm not from here. I do speak the language here, but I speak it weirdly, you know, like a foreigner does. You know, like I can communicate fluently, but I definitely don't sound like a Czech person when I speak. So, you know, all those things. And now I think I've definitely spent more or less all of my adult life as a foreigner in Europe. And then, you know, the discussion has come up many, many times about if we should move back to America. And then I have this little 10-year-old who's super American somehow. And he's definitely convinced he's going to move to America. So that's definitely on the table for sometime in the next few years. And I might actually be more out of place there than I am here. Definitely like with my habits and stuff. But anyway, America, we're coming to visit this summer, so see how that goes. But I'm looking forward to having some conversation with some friends. I think it'll be definitely a easier chat when you just have somebody to bounce some stuff off of. And also that, you know, my friends have some interesting shit to talk about too. They've done some stuff. You know, a lot of the guys that are going to come down, or most of the guys, are also, you know, expats from UK or America as well, have lived different lives, you know. Some of them just, oh, actually I have a friend from Iran I'm going to ask to come down. He's lived an interesting life. So yeah, it's going to be fun. It's also about keep going back to the kid. Yeah, he's my number one dude, so of course. But how cool would it have been for you if you had some kind of like HD documentation of your parents when they weren't too old. And, you know, all of the things that I want to tell him that you try to teach your kids when they're young, but they just aren't ready to hear it, you know, or they don't want to hear it yet. It's like I can put all that stuff down, and a lot of me talking is just going to be advice to hopefully future him, and, you know, advice to current me and hopefully future me. You know, it's the worst thing when you know a lot and then you don't actually put it into play. So a lot of this will just be, you know, notes to self, I think, will be a lot of this stuff here. All right. I'm going to take 5, and I'll see you in a couple minutes. back. Let's play a song. I've topped up the vino. Cheers. Thanks for, I don't know, hanging out. I don't think anybody actually did. It's all good. It's all good. So, I'm gonna play a song. I haven't quite decided what, but some reverb. Actually, no. Let's do this other one. Two jumps in a week, I bet you think that's pretty clever, don't you, boy? While your insides fall to pieces, you just sit there wishing you could still make love. Flying on your motorcycle, watching all the ground beneath you drive. Kill yourself in recognition, kill yourself to never ever stop. Don't leave me high, don't leave me dry, don't leave me high, don't leave me dry. Trying out new conversation, you will be the one who cannot talk. While your insides fall to pieces, you just sit there wishing you could still make love. They're the ones who hate you when you think you got the world all sussed out. They're the ones who spit at you, and you will be the one screaming out. Don't leave me high, don't leave me dry, don't leave me high, don't leave me dry. It's the best thing that you've ever had, the best thing that you've ever had. It's the best thing that you've ever had, the best thing you've had has gone away. Don't leave me high, don't leave me dry, don't leave me high, don't leave me dry. Don't leave me high. Don't leave me high. Don't leave me dry. Good old Radiohead. Hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed playing it, actually. Never get to play songs I like. You guys want to hear some? Should I put on some music in the background? I think I'm going to do that. Let's give it a vibe. Give it a vibe. Yeah. So this is some stuff me and my friend Guy made. It's on Spotify under my name, Ian Kowalski. The whole name. Let me tell you about the name change, actually, because this is kind of interesting. So I'm going with this Ian KEL. My real name is Ian Kowalski, which I always thought was kind of clunky, honestly, as an artist. But the real thing is I've always had bands, so it wasn't really that big of a deal with my own name. And then I finally decided to just focus on myself because it's just hard to count on people, honestly. And then when I started doing some stuff on my own, I released a couple of songs under my own name and it was fine. But then I started doing the sync music, which was great and it was cool. But you know, the sync music was like all over the place stylistically. It was doing world music, Indian music, acoustic, country, hip hop, hard rock, metal, indie, just literally no kind of direction, which I loved. That was like the appeal to me, was that you can do so much different shit and you don't have to stick to any genre and you don't have to stick to any kind of formula, and you can just be whatever one day. Now, of course, a lot of people say, oh, you know, publishers or whatever want to know what you're good at, blah, blah, blah. You can't be good at everything. Maybe you can. I don't know. But anyway, I signed a bunch of songs to a publisher, which was awesome. Literally what got my family through COVID was because I couldn't play gigs, so. Yeah, this is gonna get me a copyright strike. This is a song I did with my friend Pierre. However, we signed this to a label and they're gonna probably fucking give me a copyright strike on this shit. Anyway, whatever. This shit ain't monetized anyway. Anyway, the publisher started releasing all the songs under my name, and then so I had like my 2 or 3 songs that I had released, and then all of a sudden they just put a barrage of albums of just weird ass music, and it was like, you know, okay. So then I decided I was gonna have a stage name. I just went with Ian KEL because it's simple. 3 letters. Less syllables. Not that creative, I guess, but anyway. Hence the Ian KEL Show. And then if you go on Spotify, Ian KEL is my music. Some collaborations I've done. A few with this guy, Pierre XO. My friend. Just talk about him. I hope he comes down and does the show, actually. He's an interesting character. Just Google him, Pierre XO. So hopefully we'll work that out. But yeah, man. Also, I get a lot of messages from people who are signing up for this service called That Pitch because they use my name in the actual advertising material for That Pitch, which he has to be good, so it's cool. And I did really well on that pitch, so I'll talk about that too, because I get a lot of the same questions about it from new people. So I'll go into detail one of these days about how it works, how it worked for me, why it worked for me, where it is right now, answering all those things. But the hard truth about most shit is that in music, like in life, when you're trying to do something that people want to do, like music, because people want to be musicians because it seems cool and fun, and believe me, it is. But it's a lot of hard work, and most of the shit people make is just really bad. Which I think is why this AI music is bad, to go back to the beginning. But like, this AI shit is like bad because it's learning from other bad music, which is actually, that's probably the scary part now that I fucking put that together. So, oh man, I'm gonna change the music. I'm gonna be a bad DJ. But this is Pierre. I mean, I encourage you to go listen to this shit, but like, I gotta change it because yeah. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. A lot of people ask, like, why isn't it working for me or whatever, and it's like, probably your shit's just not there. If it doesn't work on the most basic stuff, on the easiest thing, it's like, maybe just don't blame outside sources. Know what I'm saying? Anywho, I'll talk about that some other time. I'm scatterbrained today because this is my first time. I'm just trying to make sure everything works. I'm gonna check it back, listen to the sound, watch the video. I can see on the monitor though, the video looks kind of nice. Got my hair cut today. Looking fresh. So again, if you're seeing this anytime in the future, or if you're out there now and you, oh man, what happened? Yeah. If you're out there now, or if you see this anytime in the future, give it a follow. I promise it's gonna get better. I had an idea I was maybe gonna do, at least on Twitch over there. What's up, Twitch? Is I don't know. I have 0 followers on Twitch, literally actually 0, because this is the first time I ever tried, and I didn't tell anybody I was doing this because I just didn't want to promote something I didn't really know what it was going to be. So we'll see how it plays out in the future. I'll tell people in the future. Maybe, I don't know, man, because I think an important thing to remember if you're an artist, it's when you're a kid, you're in your teens, maybe even early 20s, maybe. You can be like, yo, bro, I'm in a band. You should come check out my band show and stuff, and it's cool and stuff. But eventually, the people that you know and the people that you hang out with, they aren't really probably going to be your top target or audience. And especially if you're doing something online like YouTube or whatever, streaming or making videos or making music, Spotify, it actually can hurt you if your friends and family go and follow you and then they don't really listen to you because they want to actually listen to the music. They just listen to you because they know you and love you and all that crap. It's actually kind of worse for the algorithm because then it looks like people like might have been interested and then didn't stick with it. You know, so if you release a song, you release your first song and you get 100, 1,000, no, let's say 100 friends and family to play it and listen to it, and then they don't continue to play it and listen to it, it's actually going to be more damaging to your profile than if you just didn't have them in the first place. So me, as a grown-ass man, I'm not really interested in trying to oh, wait a second. I gotta check something out. Anyway, I'll finish the thought. I'm not really interested in trying to convince people to follow me. I'd rather just, go out there and throw it out into the ether and find the people that really want to engage. I had to check out a setting that might be fucked up since the beginning of this whole thing. Uh-oh. Nah, it's fine. Whatever. Fuck it. So yeah. So what are we gonna do next time? Should we do like a show down here? Should we like, as in a music show? I'll probably have some more shit to talk about by Friday. Playing a gig tomorrow. See how that goes. It's weird doing gigs. I've done too many of them. The same thing. I got this weird lucky scenario where I play the same places all the time, which is from a logistical and practical standpoint is amazing because sound's always there. I literally walk to my gigs from my house or from my studio here to the gigs, and I can carry all my stuff that I need to bring, and it's easy, and I get there literally 15 minutes before I start, set up, play for 3 hours, and then leave. So from that perspective, it's amazing, and I have that advantage with that they're basically tourist bars, so the crowd's different all the time. So even though I'm the same, the crowd changes. So it's like going on tour, but the crowd changes instead. Like the crowd comes from different cities instead of me going to a different place, which is in so many ways ideal. However, the type of crowd that comes, they literally only want to hear a very, very limited array of songs, and they have a definite expectation of what they're going to hear, and they basically just want to hear that. That's gotten really boring for me, I have to say. So I'm looking forward to playing down here and doing something different and expanding that out to make it into something I can take outside of here with a little social proof of me playing live. I don't want to forget that I actually play music because I like it. And that's always the danger when you do something for work, is that you start to do stuff because you have to do it. It's your job, so you have to go make money. And I never really cared about security personally. It's really only been since I've had a family that I've worried at all about being stable, financially stable, or stable as a citizen or any of those things, which is important, but it's just not really who I am. And I'll just say the boredom setting in. It's not boredom of, my life. It's hard to even talk about it because my life is amazing. And when I ever say anything, it's like I hear myself talking and it's just like sounds crazy to even have any complaints about it. But here we are an hour and a half deep into this live stream, so if you made it this far, you deserve to know the truth. Let's pour another glass. And by the way, as this thing progresses, the vino is going to get better. This is on the lower end of drinkable. On episode 100, we're going to blow it out. We're going to have a fancy bottle of wine. We're going to, I don't know, maybe we'll, it's hard to say what I'm going to do in 100 episodes, but maybe we'll do a solo one and have a call-in show or something. And if anybody remembers seeing this first episode and then actually comes out 100 episodes down and you're still watching, or you found it again, let me know. Or if you're ever watching this thing sometime in the future, just, let a brother know, man. That's weird. I want to know what I can do for people. I want to know how I can help. I want to know. I've lived a life, gathered some information. I'd like to share that somehow in a way that it's useful. And also use it as a way to be useful to myself, because it's my own worst trait is that, not my own worst trait. The worst thing is when you know the right thing to do and then you're not doing it anyway. It's embarrassing, really. And in some ways I feel like that's me right now. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to all those things, like I was talking about, DJing myself, remixing myself, talking about things that have happened, current events. I think one of the biggest changes that's happened in the last, 20 years or so is that, people talk about the music business, how it's bad. It's not. It's actually, on every measurable category, it's bigger than it's ever been. Literally. There's more money in it, more people making money. I think there's a lot of poor people like me that aren't rich and famous rock stars that just make a living, get by. Nobody knows who we are, but you can survive, have a decent life, take care of your family, have some kids, buy a house, all those things. But there's maybe less of those stories where people come in and, you know, hey kid, I'm gonna make your dreams come true. And honestly, that doesn't even exist anymore. There was a video which I should talk about. Maybe that's what we'll talk about Friday. And even Rick Beato did some kind of reaction to it. And it's basically the president of Warner, I think UK, and he's like doing his best not to say it exactly, but like says it exactly, that they just look for someone who already succeeded. And the labels these days will find somebody who already is successful, and they will basically pour some gasoline on an already burning flame to make it burn bigger. They don't develop anybody, and they said that. I mean, the guy basically said that. He's like, oh, we look for somebody who's, you know, productive and determined, you know? It's like, yeah, okay. So basically you look for somebody who already has a viral hit on TikTok, and then you try to make it viral on other platforms as well. Sweet. So those days are over. But also there's the other thing. Music really just isn't as important to people as it used to be. You know, there won't be classics from this generation. I play in a cover band that traveled around, and there will literally be a song that we could learn for 1 year that people went crazy if we played it that year. And then literally the next year, nobody will give a shit. It's just the lifespan of music is completely, it's nothing. It's a few months. Used to be a year or two, now it's a few months. There are no more classics. Nobody's going to remember, you know, whatever. Even like this, let's say this Die With A Smile by Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga, who by all accounts was a wonderful song, wonderfully performed, wonderfully produced, huge #1 hit. Nobody's going to remember that with any sentiment in 20 years. It's not going to be like the music from the 90s or the early 2000s. The only thing people talk about now is still like emo and shit like that. Nobody's going to talk about or care about, you know, fucking, I don't know, whatever. Even Post Malone, who I like. Or Artemis, a new guy who I like. You know, nobody's going to remember it, even though it's part of your youth. But it's like the culture for kids isn't about music. When we were kids, music defined who you were as a person. Like what group you fit into, what your style was, and all that stuff. And these days, that just isn't the case. And there's just too much other shit for kids to do. You know, video games, TikTok, shorts, memes. You know, internet culture is the new pop culture. And, you know, music will always be a part of it. It's in the background of everything. It's in the background of what we're hearing right now. But it's just going to be part of the background, part of the wallpaper, part of the set decoration. It's not the main thing anymore. And I personally even think stuff like Taylor Swift won't have any kind of real value for people emotionally or, you know, nostalgically, really. Maybe some of her older stuff, but yeah, I don't know. You know, what do I know? That's just my opinion. Anywho, I think I might play you one more song and then get on. Keep on keeping on. Let's do it. think this is appropriate. I'm going to play the first song that I ever wrote, that I ever played in public. Watch the waterfall, will tell my story. No one's listening, they don't understand me anyway. It feels like home to an alien. Things are changing, never makes a difference anyway. So just let me be. I've had enough of everything. Thought I told you I need something different, so let me be. Some my friend bedridden, send me to the man. No one here will miss me anyway. I said, don't do that, man, it's not that bad, and I'll miss you. Besides, you ain't got the courage anyway. He said, just let me be. I've had enough of everything. Thought I told you I need something different, so let me be. If I start to run, I'll run as fast as I can. When I start to run, just let me be. I've had enough of everything. Thought I told you I need something different, so let me be. Yeah, just let me be. That's called Waterfall. I wrote that song sitting in a village called Frenstadt pod Radostem. God, I don't even know, like 20 years ago. More than 20 years ago. Crazy. Man. This is weird, but it was a good time. I actually really happy that this happened. And really happy to get started. We live in an amazing fucking time. It's like, I can do this. It's like, I realize nobody was actually watching right now, but like, you could have. Could have been people all over the fucking world watching this. And there will be. Eventually. It's so wild. It cost me nothing. What a world we live in. So easy and so hard all at the same time. you ever see this in the future, drop some love. I appreciate you. And you're not getting rid of me. So, I'll see you next time. Much, much love. Cheers.
Conspiracy is suspect, and there's a virus in the subtext. But I just wanna go outside. A complicated payday, bury me in red tape. They're stealing everybody's time. Now we underground, cutting up a thousand sounds, cascade off screen, down deep inside. Think I found a better place to hide. Love me or leave me, you can't even see me. Colored by my yellow sign. Lost the only thing I hold dear. So happy fucking New Year. Another round of biding time. Now we underground, cutting up a thousand sounds, cascade off screen, down deep inside. Think I found a better place to hide me. Off screen, mid-season outside. Pretending there's a better place to hide. Conspiracy is suspect, and there's a virus in the subtext. But I just wanna go outside. A complicated page.